Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. As you know, I've tried to do car kits in the past and quite often than not I don't complete them. There's just something about car builds that is my nemesis, which is something I keep bleating about. But I do enjoy watching all you guys create car builds and some of the customizing that you do to them, and it is something that I do want to get involved with. You know, a lot of you who subscribe to me are car builders. I think the last car that I did build was for Charlie Mack, and that was like a snap tight kit, finished in like a Charlie Mack green, and it was just built out of the box. And that is the kind of kit that I enjoy with regards to cars. So when I saw this in my local hobby shop, this is a Revel easy click system, and as you can see it's a 1/24 scale Ford GT 2017. I thought this was something that I could put together and then add it to my son's collection. So we'll just have a quick look at the sprues, and then we'll probably move on to the completed build. So the first bag is for all the interior, it would appear, and for the chassis. There's also a bag there which shows the chrome wheels, which is that there. So that's the first bag. Quite nice detail on the bucket seats. But as I say, this is one of those builds where you just put it together. You don't have to glue or paint it. So in the next bag you have the windscreen and rear windscreen. That comes in its own separate bag, and it looks like you just fit that as one piece within the kit. So here's the body. Quite a nice shine on that. I may just give it a bit of a buff up with a soft cloth to try and get a bit more of a shine on it. But it's coming out quite a dark blue on the camera. It's like a grey blue, to be honest. So as I say, that's the other bag, and within that bag you get the tyres and the headlights. So here's the tyres that I mentioned, and you get two metal axles as well to put the wheels on. And finally you've got the headlights and the rear lights that you pop in as well. So as I say guys, hopefully when you next see this it will be completely built, and I'll keep an eye on the time that it takes to build this, to give you some idea how quick it can be. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so here she is, completely built, straight out of the box. I have to say there's one or two disappointments about this build. If you look at the back of the box, they indicate some silver areas for the headlights for instance, and on the engine, but they shouldn't really do that, because you have to paint those on. The interior, the engine and the headlight set are all black, so it's a bit of a shame that they show it like that when, and you're expecting it to be to look like that from the box. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, this build took about an hour. Now after half an hour I had got it all together, but for some reason the chassis doesn't fit flush with the bodywork. What I did was I had to take the pin out the front. There's a pin underneath, I'll just show you. There's two pins, one there, and I took the pin out the front. I shortened it because I wondered if it was stopping it. It was too long. Then I shortened the socket, the circular socket that fitted over a blue kind of pin that came down. because I wondered if the black cylinder was too long and it was stopping it from fitting. So I did all that. With the front here, you've got the, like, where the axle's fitting, and I wondered if that was obstructing the fit, because it was butting up against the interior section. So I cut down that as well, and I still can't get it to fit properly. And I think one of what may be the problem is that this is actually possibly bent along here somewhere, so it fits flush at the front but not, sorry, flush at the back but not at the front. So it was an okay build. Obviously it'll be added to the collection. I may toy with the idea of trying to get it apart again. I must confess the click system, especially those 2 pins in the bottom, once they're in, it's a hell of a job to get them back out. What I had to do is take the wheels off. These aren't glued to the axle, and the axle's a metal rod, so I just pulled the wheels off and it gave me more access to the underneath of underneath here, so I was able to pry it loose. But so I may at some stage take it all apart and paint some of the detail on it, and then put it back together. So 22 quid this kit cost. Looking at it through the camera, it don't look bad at all. So I'll leave you to judge whether it's worth the time and effort. Obviously you guys could do a lot more with it, I'm sure. I bet you guys could light it and all that jazz, which would make it look much better. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope your weekends are going well, and I'll catch up with you soon.